All right, so it is Sunday, March 15th. Hope you guys are enjoying this wonderful weather we're having, at least in Texas. But I want to talk to you about some stuff that's going on, some opportunities. And here's the thing, this is going to be a very dark video. I'll say it from right now. This is not going to be a fun, hey, life is going to be good. This is going to be, hey, let's prep for the worst because it looks like it's going to happen. We're going to start with crude prices right now. This trading has not started today or overnight markets. But as Brent is over 100. West Texas, what we get mostly paid on is $98 and change. Nat gas is at $3, which is healthy for it, right? Especially with crude this high. If we look at the crude, because the attack in Iran, the closing the Strait of Hormuz, boom, it's already going to go up. And I've already talked about the shortages for oil that's going to happen. And I'm going to send you two articles in this email. If you're getting this video, you're going to get them in the email. One is this guy's very good. He's basically for the last about 10 years, so he's been trading commodities and oil, and especially with a focus on transportation, right? Because that affects everything. Okay. Uh, and it's just really, really good. And basically, I'll sum it up. He says, get prepared for two things, right? Either higher energy prices or shortages. Here in the US, we will most likely not get shortages, okay? Most likely what's going to happen with us is we're just going to get high prices, but the rest of the world will have shortages. So we are blessed in one sense that we will be able to have the energy that we need to function and to go through our day, right? We can cut back, we can, turn the lights off, turn the AC off or down or up or whatever, but we're not going to be, most likely, we are not going to be faced with shortages. We're just going to pay prices through the roof. The rest of the world will see bad, bad shortages. We're talking about rolling blackouts. These things happened a few years ago when energy prices were high. This, what's happening with Iran is not going to be quickly done and over with like President Trump wants. I'm sorry, it's just not. And I think this one, he talks about that. Luke Gromen's great, especially on oil and stuff. I mean, everyone's been saying we're in a tight oil market, and all of a sudden we invaded the Middle East, and these guys go back both to the 1970s, and with the oil embargo, when the oil hit the U.S. really hard. It's not gonna hit the U.S. hard this time because we're gonna produce the crud out of it, right? But the problem is the rest of the world is gonna get hit really hard and prices are going to go through the roof. This is going to affect data centers. This is going to affect your electricity. This is going to affect the world in a very, very negative way. And I'll give you a spoiler alert right here. If you see this tab, what it says, we're going to talk about that just on a hint on the end. But my point is this. This is going to affect everything, and this will send our economy into a recession. We have a weak economy as it's not as good as everybody says it is, right? The average consumer is struggling. This high energy prices, just like in '06, '07, '08, it knocked out the legs of a weak economy, and that's what caused a recession. This one's going to cause a recession just as bad or possibly worse than 2007, 2008. Time will tell. We don't know how long, how far, how bad, but it's not going to be good is my point. And so you need to prepare now. In fact, let's go on an update. I read this. Trump is ready for peace talks, or they're ready for a ceasefire, but Trump says he's not ready. Iran says they're not ready. What's going to happen? They always do this over the weekend too. They always say, "Hey, we're going to try and make peace because," or they shake things up Friday after markets close. They'll attack. They'll do things like that, and then that tries to give people time to kind of calm down. And by Sunday they say things, or Saturday night they say things to try and calm the markets down before they open Sunday night and Monday morning. Um, they can say things. They can say, "Hey, we're up for peace talks soon," or something like that. Um, but it's not going to solve the problem, right? We are in a war with Iran, whether we like it or not. We're in there, and we want, from what everything I've heard, all the research I've done, we want regime change, right? And you can't. We're bombing the crud out of Iran right now, right? But you can't have regime change without ground troops. That just doesn't happen. And we did that in Afghanistan and Iraq, but Iran is it's really different. If you look at this mountainous terrain, right? Iran is probably better surrounded by mountains than Switzerland. Okay, plus there's mountains inside of it. I mean, all you see is right here, and this is the only flat portions, right? What that means is it's hard to get troops in, and it's hard to supply those troops. Wars are one of two things: bread and bullets, as they say. You need troops, and you need to get those troops fed and taken care of as they march, right? Or else you will have a ton of problems. Also, these non-mountainous areas, what it's desert, basically, right? It is not this. I don't even know how people live there, to be honest, from just observing it. The only part of Iran that is easy to take over is this little part right here, which was taken over. I think it was in the 80s war between Saudi or Iraq and Iran. And then they held them off of the mountains because they couldn't get through, right? There's one or two ways through here, which if you try to get tanks or heavy machinery through, they're just going to bomb the crud out of you. I mean, they could just bomb it all day long. You're a sitting duck in those. There's desert, and maybe this little outclove right here, but that's next to Afghanistan, and like we're not going to attack from here. If anything, we're going to go in through here, or possibly not even possibly through here, the Gulf of Oman. But anyway, those are all have huge mountainous regions. Iran is surrounded by mountains. It is a nightmare to get troops in there, ground troops. And once you commit to ground troops, you don't uncommit unless you want to say, hey, we're okay with losing a war. If that happens, and again, some of these go through it, maybe not, but I'll tell you that if we lose the war, what happens is Iran will become a powerhouse in the Middle East, right? What that means is they'll continue to control the Strait of Hormuz, and they will tax oil that comes through here. They will control it because after all, they just beat America. Anybody else going to stop them? No, right, is the answer. They will use that oil, that energy to make alliances with Russia, with China, with whoever they want. Okay, they'll control it. So America, we got put in a really bad position. We are either going to have to see this war through, or we're going to tuck our tails and run and give a ton of power to Iran. Okay, and they will control the Middle East, and we won't have that control over there. Not only that, but if they do, it's not going to help oil and gas prices for us because they're going to control the strait. They're actually planting not bombs, but mines in the Strait of Hormuz right now. It is a cluster, if you get my drift. So the only ways through this are for the U.S. to back out and say, hey, we made a mistake, and then Iran gets even more power because they repelled the Americans, and the Americans lost, or we send in ground troops and we finish everything, which means we will be in most likely a 10-year war or so, just like we were in Iraq and Afghanistan. Maybe 5 years if we're lucky. Okay, it's going to be one of these quote unquote forever wars, as it feels like. And so this oil shortage, these oil issues are not going away. I will tell you that right now. They're not going away, and you need to get into it right now. Also, if you're wondering how big this place is, right? So again, huge mountainous ranges all around it. But hey, what if it's just, can this thing fit between Houston and Dallas? Can this thing fit? Is it just a few states? Let's take a look. Here's Iran in the U.S., right? Iran is bigger than Texas. In fact, it's almost twice as big as Texas. So you've got tons of mountains, tons of deployment, tons of places for people to hide. It's hard to get in. It's hard to get out. It's hard to get things to people that are in there. And all of a sudden, you're trying to take over a country that is twice the size of one of the largest states in the U.S., right? This is going to be, it is not going to be fun or easy. And as things have it, we've already deployed troops. This is what the rumors are, right? 5,000 Marines. Maybe it's just for the Strait of Hormuz. Maybe it starts there. Maybe we get a draft. Things are going to get really bad really quickly. So you need to get them. We've got some oil opportunities that are great for drilling, for mineral rights. Some that have just closed down. I reserve some for myself and for some others. Those partners might back out. If you're interested, you need to get with me today so we can get you in place, because this is going, before prices just fly up, right? Also, I'll end with this, and this is more to protect you, but food shortages are coming, right? Oil is a big product of fertilizer, right? Because it's basically decomposed organic material, right? We think it's dinosaurs or foliage. Who knows what it is really? But portions of it are used to help the nitrogen fertilizers, right? Well, that price is going to fly through the roof. And so farmers are going to be stuck in this position like they were a few years ago, where they're saying, hey, we can't afford this much fertilizer, so we'll buy what we can, and then we're just going to have to yield lesser of a crop because we can't do it with the fertilizer we have, right? And so that's going to cause food shortages. It's just going to be really bad in the next few years. This is going to hit the world really hard. And I just want you to, one, give you information to protect yourself. If you want to take the opportunities up that I have, that's great. I think they're going to be great. I'm actually looking for money to loan. So if you want to take a little safer route, do a 2 or 3 year loan, hey, there we go. We can do that. But I just want you guys to be protected. If you want to get in and help protect your money, we can do that with certain assets that are going to, again, crude right now is at $98. That's not, even if they say something magical like, hey, we're peace talks, it'll go down, but I don't think it's going to break 80 for very long. If it does, it's going to be around 80 to 100 plus dollars, and it's going to be a wild, wild ride. And I'm going to ride it. I've got a lot of my funding into it, so I'm not saying anything that I haven't done, but just put yourself in a place that will protect your funds, that will grow your funds, and that you can help protect your family. So anyhow, if you, I would definitely listen to these. These are great, great videos on this. And I'll leave you at that. But I'm just saying, buckle up, because this is going to be a very long, a very bad war on Iran. One that you and I can't control. We don't want it, but you know what? We're going to be affected with it negatively or positively. We just got to position ourselves and make those choices today. With that, you got my contact information. I'll talk to you later.